Distinguished speakers and participants of the important and timely conference at the Nicolas Romeris University, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers from Lithuania and Indonesia of this in-person gathering in Vilnius and for online communication globally. Special thanks goes to Associate Professor Juozas Valčiukas for his kind invitation. I was asked to speak as the first ever Special Envoy for promotion of freedom of religion or belief outside the European Union. Therefore, I'd like to stick to this unprecedented mandate and role in recent years. Ladies and gentlemen, freedom of conscience is one of the foundations of contemporary society in democratic countries. European Union at the turn of millennium defined its DNA through four main values: human dignity, freedom, equality, and solidarity. As the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, I quote, "All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood." End of quote. We are all equal in dignity, but we are all different in identity. This is the principle of creation and creativity. It is not a problem, but the definition. Responsible use of reason and conscience for living together in diversity and living in peace and mutual respect is a must. There is a nexus between freedom of religion or belief and human dignity. One can say that FoRB, freedom of religion or belief, is the deepest expression of human freedom. It is freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, and freedom of religion as it is defined and recognized in Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights or International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, or in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. These globally normative documents clearly set that there are three dimensions of the freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. These dimensions are not isolated and artificially glued pieces, but three distinct facets of one single reality. As a Spanish professor of law and law historian Rafael Domingo writes, I quote, "Freedom of thought is required for the human person as a rational being. Freedom of conscience is required for the human person as a moral being. And freedom of religion is required for the human person as a religious being. The homo rationalis, the homo moralis, and the homo religiosus are not three different human beings, types, or categories of human beings, but three dimensions of the very same human being, of all human beings. Human rationality, morality, and religiosity are intertwined. They represent forum internum and forum externum, intrapersonal and interpersonal relational dimension of human being. Human person must be therefore respected in these three dimensions of freedom. Because if these deepest dimensions of human dignity are not respected, then subsequent freedoms like freedom of opinion, expression, assembly, freedom of association are surely not respected by state power either. It all starts with human dignity, which has triple meaning: It is a departure point of public policies in truly humane society, an objective of public policies, and a criterion of these measures. European Union, through its Charter of Fundamental Rights, gives freedom of religion or belief and conscience unquestionable importance and interdependence in Article 10. It is called freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. First paragraph says, everybody has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Second paragraph, the right to conscientious objection is recognized in accordance with the national laws governing the exercise of this right. In modern pluralist society, we necessarily face conflicts of values and ethical principles. As Abraham Lincoln has rightly said, democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Democratic constitution and legislation must create space for respect and for accommodation of minorities or dissenters. Therefore, functioning laws on conscientious objection help society to coexist in pluralist secularity, in so-called covenantal pluralism. Fair secular society is a blessing for freedom of conscience and freedom of religion. But unfair, intolerant, or oppressive secular regimes replace pluralism by a secularism as its ideology. And thirdly, my recommendation how to accommodate growing misunderstandings or conflicts in societies over freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. We should realize that life in freedom is in accordance with the principle of human dignity of all. Freedom is a beautiful but a fragile daughter of a brave and wise mother called truth. We all know that truth liberates us, sets us free. Without truth, we live in lies, propaganda, or demagogy. And people are not free under such conditions. As ancient philosopher puts it, there is no happiness without freedom, and there is no freedom without the bravery. Our 21st century coexistence may become more humane and more peaceful when we get back to most ancient ethical principles. Silver and golden ones. They represent pillars of culture of dignity for all. Silver ethical principle requests, don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. This principle relates specially to values of freedom and equality. And the golden ethical principle says, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. It is a base of a solidarity and human love. Formation of human conscience and its respect according to the said principles are therefore important objectives of education, ethics, law, politics, and religion. Conscientious objection in essential issues of life is a tool to accommodate position stemming from an individual conviction or belief. Science and reason, belief, and faith should seek truth, justice, and common good for all people. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a successful conference and thank you for your attention.